Hello, Jamie here, just diving in before this episode. If you're here every week and you want to support the show, then check out our Patreon. You get ad-free feed, you get weekly green room after shows and Q&A episodes where your questions help shape the conversation. There's a few different layers depending on how much you love it, but the link's in the show notes. Have a look. Enjoy the show. Welcome to NeedleXChange, the stories behind the stitches. I'm Jamie Chalmers, aka Mr. X-Stitch, and today I'm interviewing Katarina Orolinova. This is the second part of my NeedleXChange with Katarina, and be sure to spin back to episode 130 if you haven't heard all about her truly remarkable work, unlike anything you'll have seen before. But in this second part, we pivot from the perspex wall pieces into the story behind the maker. How Katarina knew at 7 that she wanted to be an artist, the Slovakian education system, where you choose your path early, something truly fascinating, and the sheer range of textile techniques she was taught, embroidery samplers, bobbin lace weaving and more. We also talk tradition, what it means to respect Slovak textile heritage while still pushing it forward into modern work. And as always, we go to her cultural touch points to find out what floats her boat. If you enjoy this episode, please stick it in your group chat, share it with at least one stitching friend, and then tune back in next week when I'll be talking to somebody else in the world of stitch. So until then, enjoy the show. Did you have a lot of embroidery in your house growing up? Like, how did you end up doing all this?
Well, yesterday, my other half, I was like, okay, so you know what you're gonna say? I was like, oh, you need to say this. That's when you were. Yes, it is true. When I was 7, I have 2 older brothers, and we draw a lot.
Right.
And didn't know that there was such a thing. I was first year elementary school, but I said like, okay, if there is an art school, I want to study it. I want to get the university education in art by the age of 7. So I draw a lot. I was prone to sew clothes on my Barbie doll. You know how it started from the remnants. When my mom was making clothes for us.
Mm.
And then started going like an afternoon club for textiles where I explored the textile weaving, on a frame, not like a tapestry, but it was from the textile remnants, cutting them up.
Kind of like rag weaving or something?
Yes.
Right.
On a frame. And then I got to high school, which was a school of applied art. I studied textiles, and we were taught embroidery, textile techniques. First year, we just had embroidery.
Right.
And basically the samplers were that we did lots of possible stitches on Ida to learn the spacing and the rhythm.
How old were you when you were doing this?
14, 15, I think.
That's amazing. That's so good.
So the second year we went through bobbin lace, crochet, knitting, loom weaving, tapestry weaving, like a frame weaving. Also, the hideous technique when it's like a braid, but weaving something on a frame, like when you have the shopping bags, the shopping nets.
Yeah.
That technique.
Is that a bit like French knitting or something along those kind of lines, where you produce a tube? Or is it more like, because braid making is that, isn't it? Producing cords and stuff.
So you had basically warp this way, and then you braid them one to each.
Right.
I think if I ever find a technique, I think from the history of the textile technique, if I do remember correctly, the old ancient Egyptian used it as like the dress,
right,
underlay.
Yeah.
The first layer of for their clothing.
I mean, as an aside, I was always impressed with the fact that braids were used underneath samurai armor as an additional layer of protection.
Yeah.
I always thought that was surprisingly badass for something that is generally thought of as a friendship bracelet these days.
Yeah, it's actually macrame friendship bracelet.
Huh.
The knots are macrame.
Yeah. I love the fact that you were taught that at school. Was that like one of the subjects you chose? Almost like we would do here with GCSEs and that kind of thing.
So we work a little bit differently. So by the age of 12, you have to decide what you want to study in high school,
Right.
age of 12, 13. So you can go theoretical to, it's like a gymnasium, it's
Right.
called, which are more focused on theoretical studies, biology, languages, physics. So if you want to go become lawyer, doctor, so those schools are better for that education.
Right.
Then you have a practical, you have a school for mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, also for hotel academy, where you learn how to run hotel, like
hospitality,
hospitality management. And then you have an art school. We also have there was, so there is not a lot of them, is maybe 6, 7, I think, in whole Slovakia.
Do the art schools?
Yes.
Yeah. So prior to that, then are the teachers supporting you in making that choice? Because that's pretty early to make a profound choice like that. So do they support you to know that it's the right thing to do? You know, you don't suddenly go, "Oh, I'm 2 years into hospitality, but I wish I'd chosen the art route or something."
So technically, it's none of the teacher's business.
Right. Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like they're supporting, because I feel like
they're supporting. Well, I do remember when even I decided to go to art school, or mathematics wasn't very important. We actually had math for 2 years.
right.
So my math teacher in elementary school, oh yeah, you still going math for the middle ground of the schools for mechanical engineering, this kind of, because it's a logic. And now you see with those patterns that the logic dictates, the logical thinking is actually very important, because even in a fourth year high school, we realized that I realized a little bit of math is missing, because like they say, for artists, math is not important. It is. It's not about the math, but the logical thinking.
Yeah. And a certain amount of geometry.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting then, because, you know, I remember when I was a teenager, you end up doing like 10, 12 different subjects, and you're sitting there, like for me, I'd be sitting there in a geography lesson just wondering what I'm doing with my life. So they remove that opportunity. So I guess you get more time to explore things that you've got a natural passion for.
Yeah. No, on elementary school, we had all the same subjects. So we had the Slovak language, literature, then was the foreign language, physical education. Okay, we had like art lessons, but that was like 2 hours. Then math, physics, biology, chemistry, geography. So these are the basics. And then you going to high school. All other high schools had, if you have an entry examination, it's mostly from Slovak and mathematics.
Right.
But if you have a very good marks, the high schools are prone to some of them to take you without the entry examination. If your GPA was, let's say, 1.1, our scale is the 1 is the best, 5 is the worst.
Okay. And then they just help you. So then you get to spend however many years at school doing a subject you enjoy with other people who are enjoying the same subject as you.
Yes.
That's rare. That sounds bloody marvelous.
It's more like a German system of education.
Okay.
Because they have to choose at least what I've been told in the past.
Right.
So it's completely different. So yes, we had textiles. Then there was photography, wood designs, stone carving, graphic design.
I'm so jealous.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. What a great opportunity to try all these different things. So even then, when you go to university or whatever, you're already quite well versed. You've already got a sense of the things you do and don't like in that respect, rather than in your first year of uni where you have to spend your first year like feeling everything out.
Yeah, well, there are some people still in a university who are just like, no, they are changing. But because we have the entry examinations on most of them, on art university, it was 3 days of art examinations.
And what did you do for 3 days of art
So
examinations?
first day we had the history test, history and society test, just to know if you are up to yours, because
Aware of the world.
aware of the world and art history. Because the part of the high school education we had a art history as well, which was also a A-level subject.
Okay, that's cool.
Then that first day was portrait drawing and then half a figure painting.
Okay.
With the live model.
Right.
So if you pass this round, you're going for the next day. So first day we did all this. The next day we came and found the paper on the wall if we passed the first round or not.
Some people just walking back home that day. Oh, man.
And that's, let's say, for textiles, there was textile and textile design, and fashion, there was around, in my year, 90 people applying. After first round, it was around 45 of us. Literally just cut half.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you had 2 days of creative work. So fashion,
Okay.
they had their own 2 days, and textile design and textile in space, we were together, and we had 1 day for a textile design task, and the other day we had the textile space tasks. So create something. At the same time, we had an interview with the tutors and showing off your portfolio.
Okay. And how far down this route were you at that point? Or were you doing all kinds of other stuff?
What do you mean?
Like, so you've got this thing about patterns and geometry and structures and that kind of thing.
That time, I didn't know what exactly where I would go to. I was, what was it? 17?
Right.
No. 17, 18. No, 18.
What were you into then?
Wanted to do textiles.
Okay. That's cool.
Textile techniques, there was no specifications.
Right.
Just explore and play with them.
And was there much of an influence? Like, was there much, what's the word? Were you required to recognize the traditions around you? Could you lean into that if you wanted to, or do they try and uphold traditions? Do they try and hold on to these techniques?
Depends if we had the brief for the semester.
Right.
So some of them were all conceptual.
Right. Okay.
Or open to your own interpretation. 1 year we had a cabinet of curiosities.
Right.
And it was your interpretation, what you're going to create.
Okay. Yeah.
Or then there was a diary and your interpretation.
Right.
Which honestly, I suck at diary writing or anything. So that was my first, the worst semestral work. But it was embroidered.
Right. Do you feel a need to lean into the Slovakian-ness of it, or are you happy to just explore patterns and forms without necessarily connecting it to a specific culture?
I kind of automatically leaning into it that there is a cultural thing, and I feel like your own heritage should be also interpreted in somehow. Not sure how I feel about interpreting Slovak folk embroidery into a perspex.
Yeah.
The lace, most likely.
Yeah. Or maybe if a museum would like to fund you to explore such a project, that could be a thing. Yeah, I guess it's a trade-off. But then, a lot of the Slovakian embroidery ties in with like costume as well. Is that right?
Yeah, it's mostly for costume. But then this educational, like my studio where I studied, it's prone to that. It's not forced, but we are naturally inclined to be inspired by the folk textile heritage.
Yeah.
One of my classmates, he is now the second studio who are actually doing indigo dyeing.
Okay.
Which almost died in Slovakia.
Right. That's cool. I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's just a fragility to it. I know in Wales, which is attached to England or whatever, but they do a fair job now of just deliberately maintaining a connection to their history, because I think they recognize that it can evaporate quite easily.
Oh, it is. It is very important because it's evaporate, and from the history that you can see how quickly it can go.
Mm. But then that's what's quite exciting about the kind of work that you do. And there's been plenty of people like Faig Ahmed, who's an Azerbaijani weaver, and he takes, Azerbaijani rug designs and kind of gives them this positive, futuristic approach. I think new thinking with these old traditions is really important because it stops it feeling cliche. It's like new thinking about lace that stops it thinking that it's just something you find in a tourist shop.
Yes, it's about looking to put the technique into another different realm, I would say.
Yeah, even just so that then people can make their own way back.
Yes. So to admire and inspired by the past to move it to a future.
Yeah. And do you feel, I don't know, I feel like what you're doing seems like a reasonable approach to that. Where do you feel the work's going to go then?
Don't know. We'll see. It could go anywhere.
I guess what's nice is you've got this thing, you've got this piece of needlepoint fabric, you've got these smaller projects, if you like, that you can do in one direction that probably allow the back of your brain to process the other pieces that might require more engineering or something.
Possibility. Let's say technique of gold work or this couture technique of embroidery are not so common in Slovakia.
Right. And so maybe there's some kind of mashups.
It looks like there is not like teachers who teach it, and the only way how you can learn it is on textile restoration, which is or then go privately, but it's not popularized. It's not popular. You can see it only on historical pieces, not on modern pieces.
Yeah, and that's quite a hard ship to turn, isn't it? I think it would be the same over here, trying to embed that back. I mean, you're lucky if you've got these schools that are still allowing, to do applied arts and textiles, that you still got one up on the UK as far as I can tell in that respect.
Well, yep. But here embroidery is it's more popular. In Slovakia, you can see that, okay, I see cross stitch, then needlepoint is a little bit there, and then white work for tablecloths, and this kind of decorative embroidery for colored floral.
Yeah, I remember talking to Bastian Vollman, who works for Zweigart, shout out if he's listening. And, they sell their Ada across the world, across Europe. And so he has an interesting perspective on those things, like which countries have which persuasions, which ones are more forward thinking in these kind of directions. And then for some, not even without cliche, but they just kind of repeat the same things. And it sounds from what you're saying as though Slovakia is a bit in that respect. Like they hold on to the traditions, but they don't do anything other than repeat them, sort of.
Well, there are generations who are pushing them forward, but still keeping the tradition. We have an organization which is called ULU, and they are upholding the tradition of all the folk crafts.
Okay.
So to keeping them alive. So it's something like an arts council and endangered list of crafts.
Right. So then they just need outliers like you who can just keep pulling it forward into the future.
And hence, that's why it's very important to uphold these textile traditions and to push them into modern way. And at the same time, still have the absolute admiration for the historical textiles.
Yeah. That's cool. I like it. And then at the same time, you're doing work with Chloe and doing various other random bits and pieces and just building your skill set even further.
Yes.
How's that? How does that go?
How's it going? Well, working on the second claw of my goldwork lobster.
Okay. Very satisfying. Is that nice? Is that like a bit of fun for you?
Oh, yes. Definitely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. it's quite nice to do, I guess, because you're doing it for a living and then you're also kind of doing it for a pleasure as well, which is the balance that I think seems to elude me. I haven't done it across me.
Literally, I can get lost to work on it for hours.
That's cool. So, in a clever kind of segue into another section then, if you're working on embroidery for hours, what kind of stuff do you listen to?
Listening. I'm not a fan of audiobooks.
Right.
Really. I don't know. It's something about the monotonous voice. There are some of them which I can stand.
Mm-hmm.
But the monotonous voice, it reminds me a simultaneous translation of Polish TV and foreign cinema.
Yeah. Would there be, like, if you're listening to obviously you can speak English, but would you, if you were listening to an audiobook, are you having to translate in your head? Because that could probably be a little bit wearing. Like if you were listening to a Slovakian audiobook, if you didn't have to translate it, would that be more pleasant?
Yeah, you don't have to translate it, but then it's getting into your head that you don't like the voice, because if you know the book and you read a little bit about it, or you read the book and then you just want to audio version of it, the version in your head doesn't coincide with the version of the voice what they have.
Sure. Yeah. I realise now what I've said is really thick, because it's not like you know, if you dream in English, you don't have to translate English. But I suppose what I was thinking or just wondering whether you would find listening to an audiobook in Slovakian, because of the way your brain has been built to understand that first and foremost, whether that might just be more pleasant because there isn't that little bit of extra work. But it is quite a dumb thing to have said there. So.
Well, I think for us, like the bilinguals, it's a little bit, because with my other half sometimes we start talking in Slovak and then we transition into English because it's easier for us.
Okay.
It might sound weird. The grammar is absolutely out of everything.
But you're in it together, right? So you're both saying the same language, whatever that is.
Then you search for the word in Slovak, but you can't get it.
Yeah. I like that. I always remember I used to work for an Indian restaurant and they all spoke Urdu. And every now and again they'd say a word like roundabout. And I'd be like, oh my God, I understand Urdu. And then they'd go, no, hang on. They've just used the English word there because that kind of makes sense. So do you tend to listen to music then when you're working?
More listening TV shows. Because I cannot, if I immerse myself into work, I got very quickly distracted if there is something new. So I literally rewatching the old TV shows where I can just listening to the different voices.
Right. So to that end then, have you got a favourite TV show? Is there something, are you like anything like Grey's Anatomy when there's like 22 series of it or something?
Well, I like only first 8 of it. Then it's got more, not serious drama. It's just like, I think it lost a little bit of the humor, black humor.
Right. I've never watched it, to tell you the truth. So, well, have you got a favourite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Genre, now I'm going into crimi. Or a lawyers.
Okay.
You know, The Good Wife now. It was Suits. So it depends on the mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about films? Films work for you when you're listening, or is that, again, it would have to be films you see before?
They do. Films work. Yes, they quite a lot, actually.
But do you need stuff that you don't need to look at because you don't want to be put off your stride?
Sometimes it feels like, I don't know, maybe it's just an urge, or in a uni, because we had one Christmas, we had the festival of Christmas movies while we were working.
Okay.
So we started all the Czechoslovakian fairy tales and ended up, I think, with Grinch.
Right. Excellent. Didn't get sick of that at all. Have you got a favourite film?
Maybe genre or several of them. I'm
happy. I'm down with whatever, because I've become to realise it is hard to go just choose the one. What's your favorite genre then?
Genre, I think if we go Czechoslovak production, I have to go Czechoslovak because all those movies were done before I was born.
Okay.
And some of them are but most of them are fairy tales, but they are in like a black humor or the relationship deal. And okay, it's always a story, love and evil, but some of them are done very humorous way. One is Give the Devil His Due. No joking around devils in English. In Czech is Čerty nejsou žerty.
Right. Now, I was going to say, because a lot of the fairy tales are like quite dark. I remember we've got a lot of like, Hans Christian Andersen and all that. And like, there's a match girl that's dying. There's children that are being buried into a mountain by the Pied Piper. Like, it's really dark stuff when you properly stop and look at it, isn't it?
But yes, but technically, if you go there from, again, older times, they're supposed to be as a moral warning.
Yeah. So was a lot of like the Slovakian films that you're talking about, those kind of films, it's like still leaning in that direction.
This concrete one with Čerty nejsou žerty, it's more of a moral warning that, okay, the goodness conquers the evil, but at the same time, the evil or the punishers, the devils, helps the good guy to get rid of the evil.
Okay. Any English movie genres since you've come over here? Anything?
Well, English speaking, I think it's the anthology, The Four Rooms. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of that. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
Oh, you need to watch it.
Okay. Write it down. Because that's 4 short stories, isn't it?
Yes. In one hotel over the New Year's Eve, and stellar cast. Very bizarre. But then at the end, there is a Tarantino, which also you can expect.
Yeah, I was going to say, is like Tim Roth in that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, if he's in it, usually that means it's a fairly rock solid thing to look to. Okay. I'll write that one down. So go back to music then. So you don't tend to listen to music when you're working, but what kind of music do you like? Do you have a favorite band? Do you have a favorite album?
So, don't have a favorite album.
Okay.
In my life, it might sound weird. I went through a metal stage, through rock stage, now also movie soundtracks.
Okay.
Movie soundtracks, not just the popular one, but the official score ones, which was instrumental music. So it depended on the mood.
Have you heard that thing? I think I've mentioned this before, like way back in the day, but they did that thing where they took the soundtrack or the theme music for Jurassic Park and stretched it out to like 2 hours long or something or other.
No.
But it's this beautiful thing because the tune's quite rousing, but when it goes over such a long period of time, you don't sort of notice it. But then when the music starts to reach a crescendo, you end up having this slightly visceral experience because you haven't noticed, but suddenly the music's like rising really slowly. And it's like, it's quite a thing. Like you should try it. It's like on YouTube because someone just did it and it's just stretched out so much longer and you just kind of float along with it, almost like you're on some kind of lila and the music's just like moving you around or something.
Yeah.
I like that. Are there any noteworthy official scores that are worth paying attention to?
I think if I go back, that was King Arthur.
Okay.
That was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And well, historical and fantasy movies, they have some of them, they have the popular version and then the historical, it's just the music. That music, or if you're listening, it gives you goosebumps. It's just like you can actually see the story without seeing the story.
Yeah, and that's when you realize how bloody clever those scores are, isn't it? Because it's the sort of thing you don't notice when you're watching the film, but like you say, then you pull it out of context and you completely do notice it. Okay. So you don't like listening to books, do you like reading books?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
tell me all about it.
Currently, the most popular book, you'll be surprised, it's a blackwork book.
Okay. A bit of bedtime reading there.
Yeah, with a lot of post-its.
Go on. Who's that blackwork book by?
John Goodwin.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very good.
At the moment, yes.
Okay.
And then it's mix and match of, again, Slovak books. So I'm bringing them over here or getting my friend, okay, can you buy me the book? When I come, I'll go get it.
Okay.
So it then fluctuates from fantasy again. There was even Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings from childhood, not actually now.
Right.
Witcher, surprisingly.
Right.
But the books Witcher which I own are, I think, first version of the Czech translations.
Right.
So they are now about 20 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So there's a lot of mythology. Mythology is quite bound into like Slovakian culture and that kind of thing. Then just always kind of has been. Are you a bit nervous if you go into the woods at certain times of the year, just in case? Just in case.
No.
No friendly witches that are going to steal your children or any of that sort of thing.
Well, there was actually an episode in Good Wife. There were one of the lawyers. The characters were supposed to be like a visiting judge at the law university, and the case we're dealing with, it was a trial against two children and a witch.
Okay.
and the property.
Excellent. Right, and then I also now then need to know an interesting fact.
Interesting facts
that not a lot of people know about you.
Well, it's not. We don't not speak about it. I used to spend, where I was child, summers in a foster care, but due to it that my grandma was professional foster carer.
Okay, right, all right. So it wasn't. So what did your family just cash in on the fact that she was really good at childcare and just kind of?
She was actually a teacher.
Right.
So, and this was a special project, a community, where it was a small town was built, and there were professional parents for fostering children, so they were living in literally family unit.
Right. So were you part of a big foster? Did you end up with lots of foster siblings for the summer and that sort of thing?
For holidays, yes. Friends, that time. With some of them, we are still in contact. Some of them, I don't know even if they are, but...
Right. And did your mum and dad... Have you got any siblings?
I have two older brothers.
Did they go with you?
We all went together when we were children.
And did your mum and dad just punch the air and then enjoy getting rid of you for like 2 months or something?
Well, there was no other choice, because they could get only each of them so many times of holidays. And this one was like a full-time job where we could spend time with the other children. And
sounds like a pretty smart solution, to be honest, doesn't it? Just because it's one thing to I palm my children off and they...
But I went to visit my grandmother.
yeah, exactly. And it just so happens she's absolutely wicked at childcare and you get a bunch of great new mates for the summer. That sounds pretty cushy. Yeah, you must have had fond memories of all that. Was it weird when you go back home again? Did it all seem very boring?
It was a little bit weird when in school when they were asking us what we did for a summer, and then my friends, we went to camping in Italy or Croatia, and I was like, I was at my grandmother's in da-da-da, and they was like, really? Well, your parents put you there? Like, no, my grandmother is in charge of these children, and I went to see her.
What was she like as a person?
My grandmother? Very good.
Yeah. I guess you got to be, she do you see...
She did embroidery as well.
Right. Yeah.
But she didn't taught me.
Okay.
I taught in school, but then I always saw her with some kind of, like a woman's embroidery magazine and picking up a project.
She's still alive? Did she ever see your needlework?
No.
Shame. I'm sure she would have been well proud.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. She probably would have funded you to get a bigger laser cutter. Something of that, with that foster care money or something.
Yes, this reminds me, might be not like nowadays, like people are getting, friends are asked us like, oh, when are you getting married? And it's just like, they are asking me like when he's gonna propose to me. She's like, sorry, like, what's the question? Like, and then I said, like, I don't want a ring, I want a laser cutting machine.
Nice.
It's pretty much the same price.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Get a lot more easy. You cut yourself a little ring just to show the purpose of it, isn't it? Just blazing some embroidery in it or something like that.
But they basically shut them out quite quickly.
It's just like not thinking about it. That's maybe just laser cut him a ring. Just do the deal. Oh, actually, no, you can't, because maybe you can go. Maybe can you buy him a laser cutting machine as an engagement project? Could you get away with that? And he'd be like, I don't know how to use it. He'd be like, it's all right, darling, I've got it. I'll show you. It'll be fine.
He will be forced to probably to like, oh, you need to connect it.
Yeah.
No, he is helping me a lot.
Is he?
Yes.
He'll stand on the other side of a piece of perspex for you.
Yes.
No, that's very sweet. That's love. That is. That's what that is. I remember when my wife used to do that. Now I've said too much. Hey, Katarina, thank you for having a needle exchange with me. Really, as I could just go, oh my God, my marriage is falling apart. It isn't.
No.
It isn't. But brilliant.
Don't forget, laser cutting machine. That's also
laser cutting machine. That's true love, everybody. Just write that one down now. Hello, Jamie here. If you've made it this far, you are exactly the kind of listener that needs to know about our Patreon scheme. If you want to help keep NeedleXChange going and get more from it, you can join as a member. With our Backstage Pass level, you get the ad-free private RSS feed, and you get that warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing that you're helping NeedleXChange remain free so that other people can enjoy it. In our Green Room layer, you get all of that, plus a weekly 10 to 12 minute after show. Oh yeah, bonus content. And you can submit questions to our forthcoming Q&A episodes. And if you want to go all the way, our executive producer Leia adds a quarterly patron-only group show. Imagine 4 different machine embroidery artists talking with each other about the medium they love. Oh yes, we can make that happen. You also get your name on the producer wall. Just head to patreon.com/xstitch or tap the link in the show notes. Your support will keep NeedleXChange going and make it so that we can really celebrate this medium that we love. Thank you for helping. I'll see you soon.